Since last week, premium motor spirit has been scarce in Nigeria's federal capital city, Abuja, resulting in the rise in the pump price of fuel to as high as over 800 naira per litre. The queues at most filling stations in Abuja stretched meters away, with car owners spending hours just to fill their tanks. They say they just want petroleum products to be available.
It's not funny. I've been in this queue since around 2 o'clock till now. I'm actually working for a school, and school has even closed now. I'm still here, I've not gotten fuel.
Before I came here, I went to Green Village for that NNPC station, but a lot of queue there is too much. I have to leave there and come back to here. It was almost as 2 hours when I was here now, but I'm inside the police station now.
If there is fuel for we workers to have and fuel our car to go to work, things will be easier for us. All we just plead to the government is to supply us fuel.
The state-owned oil company NNPC Limited says adverse weather conditions caused the disruption in the ship-to-ship transfer of petrol, which resulted in the shortage of supply. This also affected the berthing at jetties, truck loadouts, and transportation of products to filling stations, causing a disruption in station supply logistics.
When you have thunderstorms, you can't do STS. This is a volatile liquid. And when there are thunderstorms, we had to suspend ship-to-shore movements. And it also affected the loading of trucks at the depots.
A joint delegation of the NNPC Limited and the Nigeria Midstream and Downstream Petroleum Regulatory Authority conducted an assessment tour of some filling stations in the FCT.
My stock for today is 157,950. And before evening, we will still discharge. When we discharge, anyone that remain, the following day we continue to discharge.
We open with 52,000 liters, and by August I'm still expecting 33,000 liters on the way coming.
In order to prevent a reoccurrence of this level of petrol scarcity, the Petroleum Products Retail Outlet Owners Association of Nigeria is advocating an emergency supply mechanism to be put in place.
The first step is to have a very efficient and inclusive stakeholder team that should look at that. Other than that, there should be national storages for emergency response.
Presence of persons hawking petrol on the streets, referred to as black marketers, raises questions as to how easy it is for them to purchase fuel to resell at a higher cost than for Nigerians seeking to fill their tanks.
NMDPRO themselves have rules as to why you should not buy products in that manner. But of course, the common argument will be, I pass my neighbor, I have a small generator, I have this and all that. There should be a method by which those facilities should be serviced.
A former Lagos State Commissioner for Transportation, Dr. Kayode Opeifa, joins me now to talk about fuel scarcity and challenges confronting the downstream sector. Good to have you here, Dr. Opeifa.
Yeah, good afternoon.
Well, quickly, my first question, what causes these disruptions and who do we blame? Because here you have the NNPC Limited blaming thunderstorms, blaming flooding. You have retail owners blaming retail outlets owners, blaming NNPC Limited. You have some other people blaming depot owners and saying it's because NNPCL or NNPC Limited has monopoly. Now, who do we blame? And what causes these disruptions? Is it the weather? Is it flooding, as NNPC claims? Or is it as a result of the monopoly of NNPC Limited?
Yeah, thank you very much. It seems you have a very good understanding of the issues already, because you have one way or the other touched around the main issue. But let me say, nobody should put blame on the other person, because when you point one finger, many will point to you. In my own view, when we have a logistics issue, is to first identify the issues and get it solved. And the blame game should, in fact, be not the main issue. What causes all these issues are issues that are general in the logistics field. If you either you don't do the right thing, or you're doing it wrongly, or you face things that are likely to come up and you're not applying the right solutions to them. Without talking to the specifics of the last crisis, because I'm going to make a general overview of what could cause. One, note that we are not locally refining for now. So if you are not locally refining, you will have issues related to product availability and accessibility. Number two, our network, distribution network infrastructure is inadequate. The pipelines have been vandalized. So even when you have a disruption and you want to push, you will not be able to push. You have to go by road. So, and in addition to that, at the depots, they are not completely working. Why would they not work? If we have vandalized the distribution network, there will be no way to get products to the depot. And if you move products to the depot by road, it's like you are doing double handling. Then number three, you have a human capacity. When you have a logistics challenge, the people addressing the solution, do they have adequate knowledge and capacity to manage a logistics problem? Then you also have human issues. Like you mentioned, this man is blaming this and that. Instead of you to assess your own situation and see where you have come into be an issue, then you also have the problem of when we import, we do have what we call the marine issues. You have to take it from the ship to the smaller ship. Some say why? That's where you start hearing mother ship to daughter ship. When you bring a 60 million liter tons of 60 million tonnage of petrol products and you need to bat at any of our port, do we have the required bat for that ship? If you don't have the required bat, you have to transload to smaller ships. And when you are taking them to various depots too along the tank farms, you have to transfer to smaller ships. Now that brings the issue of cost. Now, to get those ships, it used to be $25,000. It got to $40,000. Now it's $70,000. The argument will come, you need to hire, is it available? So there are so many legislators. Now, recently we've heard of environmental issue where you have flooding, you have sparks and the rest. So whatever are these reasons, there are many. So who is at blame? I will not put blame. What I will say is that what the NNPC needs to do, which I think in recent time they've started doing right, is whenever there are logistics or any other problem that will affect disruption, come out transparently. Tell Nigerians whether it's going to happen tomorrow or it has happened, what are the issues, what is the way out, what are your plans. Like the recent one, I think this one took like 5 to 10 days to disappear. I have seen an issue that took months, 2015, when there was change from the Jonathan to the Buhari administration. We know there was a fuel disruption. And I was invited to the villa to see how to, they're moving only 100 trucks per day, and we need to move 800 under normal circumstances. And I said, wait, what is the problem? How long will it take? I told them 2 weeks. And everybody said, isn't it possible? We spent 2 months, we can't move it. I said, just wait. I know the problem. From logistics point, it is gridlock. Moving from the port onto the road. So I said, give me the governor of Lagos State. We met the governor of Lagos. I said, give me the commissioner for transport and the commissioner of police. I got the two of them. I said, give me LASMA. And commissioner will provide security to LASMA. Then we call the unions. We call the stakeholders. Then we ask the union people and the stakeholders, how long will it take? You know what they said? They said 72 hours. Okay. And we did it in 48 hours. So you also need stakeholders collaboration. Where the stakeholders
okay. NNPC Limited says it has like, is it 1.5 billion liters in stock, which they say they have released. But yes, in Lagos, it looks like the situation has eased. But in some other parts of the country, there's still the problem of disruption in supply. Where is the Nigerian midstream and downstream regulatory authority in this? Because we heard that there is illegal hoarding going on.
It's a complex situation. You have, like
Why is it complex? There is a regulatory agency called midstream and downstream.
No.
Is it that they are working across purposes?
No. What I meant by this is that I can see on your preview that you have the NMDPRA and NNPC working together, going to. That means they have an understanding on the situation. Now, the regulatory authority, that is the NMDPRA, is expected to handle most of the distribution logistic-related issues. NNPC's responsibility is supposed to provide the product to the depot. From that point, you will expect the NMDPRA and the rest to take control. But Nigerians are yet to come to terms of what the PIA says, that you now have a regulator, NUPRC and NMDPRA. But really speaking, when it comes to distribution-related issues, that should be the response, and then regulatory should be the responsibility of the NMDPRA. But whichever responsibility is it, the two of them, or the three of them, or all of them, including the government, have a responsibility to make sure that the product is available to Nigerians as at when Nigerians need it. Now, Nigerians also have to make sure that when this product is available, we take the best advantage. For me, I will never buy fuel at any price above what is normal. If everybody takes that position, or if you don't want to take that position, just be ready that because you don't want to queue. If we all take that position, those who are gouging the price, those who are sabotaging the system, those who are making arbitrary, they too will think twice. So it's not about blame.
I think Nigerians are helpless in this matter because there are implications for productivity. You have tasks to accomplish. You were commissioner for transportation in Lagos. And you know, people have to
FCT.
get... And
FCT.
And also FCT. Okay.
Yes.
So you have experienced this transportation issue in Lagos and also in Abuja. People need to get around and they must get fuel. Now, you talked about refineries. The refineries are not working. The Dangote refinery is claiming that it is being sabotaged by the IOCs and that it's not getting the necessary support from NNPC Limited. It has the capacity to produce 650,000 liters of PMS per day, but it is handicapped by politics. So why are the refineries not working? But the big elephant in the room is NNPC Limited monopoly. Can you address the
Thank you very much. I believe the National Assembly is addressing the issue of the claim by Dangote, and we need to really confirm the veracity of that claim, that cruise are not. From what I have read in the media by experts in the last 1 week, it seems that the issue is much more than we have read in the newspaper. We've read that if you build a refinery, the responsibility of getting the feedstock is your own responsibility, not the responsibility of the government. That is, when you build your refinery, you need to go and discuss, negotiate how to get it. And I think it was on Arise, you brought, is it Dr. Obiarere, who said it was part of the Niger Delta. And he also mentioned it that when they were building one of the modular refineries, they upfront, they have negotiated how to get the product. So I think between the government and Dangote, I mean, NUPRC, NNPC, they need to find a way. Recently, NUPRC also issued out some directives on how this will be done. But we also need to talk to our businessmen too. When you get into business that are of international nature, we should also get all the, and that's what I meant when I started by there is need for stakeholders collaboration. There is also need for human capacity in managing some of this. But for me, as I'm concerned, monopoly should not be the way out. The PIA has specified that we should allow full deregulation of the sector. If we have full deregulation of the sector, we already have about 5 modular refineries with 27,000 barrels per day capacity. Dangote has 650,000. So by the time you have Boa coming, you have so many others coming. If all these refineries come in and they start producing product, for now nobody is doing PMS, and that's what we should have. Even Dangote is not doing PMS. We have been told it to come out in July. So if Dangote comes out, you will still have a monopoly if it's only Dangote, except there's other people. So we need to diversify that supply chain. We must find a way to get out of this one source supplier that is like you have currently in the NNPC. Why is it only NNPC? This thing has been on since 2000 and I was involved in 2016. The simple fact is there is the forex to import the thing. Where do you get the forex? Emadep made some spirited effort, and then Emadep and somebody has brought it. As soon as the dollar tripled, I mean, the naira to dollar rate fluctuated, they backed out. So that's why you have only NNPC. It's not a design monopoly. So by the time Dangote comes in, and some other people can come in, maybe NNPC should also be a last resort in terms of supply. Then we will see that it will be better off. So the monopoly is an issue. Once you have a monopoly and that monopoly line is disrupted, when you have only one source and that one source line is disrupted, you have problems. But when you, like in diesel, you won't have this in diesel because there are multiple people importing diesel. So if somebody has an issue, the other one will have, then you can also share because they do that sometimes. You see among the depots, they share products among themselves. So I think the issue of diversification is key. We need to implement the PIA in full. That is, there should be full deregulation. People should be, whatever it takes to allow others to participate should be. So whatever it takes Dangote to get his feedstocks, I think we should be interested. Whatever it takes Dangote to be able to operate, the NNPC too should be interested. And whatever it takes Nigerians to get their product, I think we all should be interested. So I don't agree. I don't want to subscribe to this passing of blame. Dr.
Opeifa, you just triggered something now. This PIA that you mentioned, Petroleum Industry Act. We had on another program, the morning show, Dr. Olisagbaku by SEN, where he was saying that in fact the PIA is a problem, and that IOCs are also the problem, and that PIA we need to just scrap it.
I disagree with him completely. I'm not a lawyer. You know, I'm not a lawyer.
He's a senior advocate of Nigeria.
Apart from it's my senior corporate.
Okay.
But I disagree with him completely.
Why?
Because, you know, it's not, what he said, you need to dissect it.
Because he knows certain things that maybe others do not know.
He was referring...
On second thoughts.
Okay, I wouldn't want to discuss the issue of law. The PI is a law of the fair, and it's 2021. How many years now? 3 years. I said, until we start implementing it in full deregulation. What he's talking about are some sections of the PI that has to do with sharing formula. But that's not the only aspect of the PI. He was talking about sharing formula and who should own joint venture. Those are not the issues now. The issues we're having now is issue of diversification of the product. Are you having issues with diesel? No. Are we having issues with others? No. The one we're having issues is the complication in the production of PMS. PMS is the last product in the distillate line, and it is more expensive to produce. So most people are producing the earlier products. That's why you see how many of the modular refinery is producing PMS? None.
Okay, Dr. Opeifa, as you begin to wrap up, we the ordinary people of Nigeria, at least in Lagos, we have seen that PMS is now available. We can buy fuel and all that, but it's not the same for people in other parts of Nigeria. How soon and how quickly can the Tinubu administration resolve this problem of fuel scarcity today, fuel scarcity tomorrow? I mean, it gives us nightmares, agony, pain, anguish each time it happens. How soon? How quickly?
It depends. It depends on what exactly. Like the current one we have, it says flooding and
there will always be flooding.
No, that's where I'm going. Flooding, those are easy ones to correct. And you can see it fizzle out with it. So when it happens, it is the way we react also that will prolong it. If we are in panic mode and we are all ready to buy at 1,000, the sellers too will sell at 1,000. So that's number one. Then two, we need to improve our infrastructure, the transportation infrastructure, the distribution of the fuel supply chain infrastructure, and we need to implement the PIA document on the area of the regulation so that you can have other people to invest in the network, invest in the storage, invest in the depot, invest in the supply of the product. When all these are in place, then I have choice. Then there will be choices to people. When all those things are there, the issue of what I'm saying is that we need to diversify the availability, you need to improve the accessibility, and then you need to create transparency. When there are issues, you must communicate effectively and efficiently. If the communication, there was a time in 2017, one organization just wrote that there will be fuel scarcity in December if we don't do this. Do you know what happened in Lagos in October? Queues. By the time it was interrogated by another press management, the thing disappeared within after 7 days, disappeared within 24 hours. When the same source came out and said they were only projecting. So you can see also the effect of communication. So between me and you, between media houses, also communicating, we also must not be seen to create fear. So we must create some level of hope. We're under hope now. We must create some level of hope to people that the people who are in charge of this, people who have entrusted to handle this product, have come out to tell you plainly that these are the issues. Then you also need to get people who understand logistics, supply chain, and transportation system management to manage this kind of situation. It's not a try and error thing. And we also, I'm not saying this to praise anybody, but we must also appreciate each other, especially the stakeholder. I read in the paper, one organization came and said, this is the problem. Another one came and said, this is the problem. Another one came and said, this. Then the regulator, NMDPRA and NNPC, came and said, no, this is the situation. By the time we all keep talking in the disconnect manner, we create confusion in the minds of the public. Then there is the issue of arbitrage. As long as fuel prices between one point or the other outside Nigeria is different, people would attempt to smuggle. But more importantly, about 11 cities, we're under the regulation now. Don't expect to buy fuel the same price you buy in Lagos, in Abuja, because there is cost of transportation, there is cost of logistics. Don't expect the fuel, when there are crises in Lagos on the marine, to ease out all over the country. So give another 3 to 5 days when you ease the situation in Lagos for you to ease, because the trucks are going to move the product out of Lagos because the pipelines are not working. Will the pipelines work? When we implement the PIA in full and the investors are interested, they will invest in the pipeline and they will provide the necessary things that will protect. Once these pipelines are protected, you can push this fuel within hours from Lagos to Suleja. From Suleja, you get it to Sokoto. From Lagos to Ilorin. From Ilorin, you get it to Port Harcourt. And from Port Harcourt, you get it to Nguru. So within a short period of time, that's talking about the infrastructure around the logistics area. I strongly believe this supply, what do you call this thing?
Logistics challenges
are the major issues. There is none of these issues. Every time they have this problem, when I probe further, they profile the supply solution immediately. They solve that. But when you stop supply and the infrastructure to move it from one point to the other is still a challenge.
Well,
that's
okay, supply side.
Then the roads too have to be properly fixed. Then we have to look at alternatives to road.
Supply side issues. What ordinary Nigerians want is they just want to get to the fuel stations and they want to be able to buy.
Then we need to improve the public transport system so that if I cannot buy fuel, at least I can use a public transport to get to where I need to get to.
We hope we'll get there. But how quickly, how soon is the question. Thank you very much,
Thank you, sir.
Dr. Opeifa, for joining us on This Is Live, the Sunday Talk Show.